The vast emptiness of space beyond Neptune's orbit shimmered as three sleek vessels emerged from faster-than-light travel. Their metallic hulls gleamed under the distant sunlight, barely visible against the backdrop of stars. These were the scout ships of the Galactic Empire, confident in their approach toward their next conquest, a blue planet that showed signs of developing civilization. What the Imperial scouts didn't know was that they had already been detected. Deep within the Rocky Mountains of North America, in a facility known as Deep Space Watch, Officer Jack Wilson stared at his monitoring screen with wide eyes. The advanced quantum sensors, secretly installed throughout the solar system over the past decade, had picked up the energy signatures of the approaching vessels long before they dropped out of light speed. "Sir, we have multiple contacts," Jack reported to Commander Anderson, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "Three vessels, approximately 2 kilometers in length each. Their energy signatures don't match anything in our database." Commander Anderson's weathered face remained composed as he pressed a red button on his console. Within seconds, the facility's quantum-encrypted communication system connected him directly to the United Defense Council's emergency chamber in Geneva. "This is Deep Space Watch. First Contact Protocol Alpha is now in effect. I repeat, First Contact Protocol Alpha is now in effect." Across the globe, military bases hummed to life. In underground silos, missile batteries powered up silently. Orbital defense platforms, disguised as communication satellites, activated their cloaking systems. 20 years of preparation were finally being put to the test. The Imperial scouts continued their approach, unaware that Earth's defenses were already tracking their every move. In their arrogance, they hadn't bothered to scan for advanced detection systems, assuming this was just another primitive world to add to their collection. Inside the lead scout ship, Captain Reed of the Imperial forces smiled confidently. Like all Imperial officers, he had overseen dozens of planetary acquisitions. The procedure was always the same: approach, demonstrate overwhelming force, accept surrender, and begin the integration process. He had reviewed the long-range scans of Earth, primitive combustion vehicles, basic space exploration, and early digital technology. This would be an easy conquest. Back on Earth, the United Defense Council gathered in their underground chamber in Geneva. Representatives from every major nation sat around a circular table, their faces illuminated by holographic displays showing the approaching vessels. "The First Contact Protocol has served its purpose," General Martinez announced, standing at the head of the table. "They don't suspect we can see them. Our orbital defense grid remains undetected." "What about the civilian population?" asked Director Lee, representing the Asian Alliance. "Should we begin emergency broadcasts?" "Not yet," replied President Thompson of the North American Union. "We stick to the protocol. Let them think we're surprised by their arrival. Our advantage lies in their underestimation." In orbit around Earth, thousands of microsatellites silently adjusted their positions, creating an invisible web of defensive coverage. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, massive energy reactors powered up, channeling energy to hidden defense installations across the globe. The Imperial scouts crossed the orbit of Mars, their sensors finally focusing on their target. Captain Reed ordered detailed scans of Earth's military capabilities. The results made him chuckle: primitive projectile weapons, basic radar systems, and a handful of simple space stations. "Prepare the diplomatic vessel," he commanded. "Have Ambassador Thomas ready his standard submission speech. These humans will be serving the Empire before their next solar rotation." Little did he know that in secure facilities across Earth, advanced weapon systems far beyond Imperial technology were being brought online. Quantum shields, antimatter cannons, and gravity manipulation devices, all reverse-engineered from technology discovered decades ago, stood ready to defend humanity. In the Deep Space Watch facility, Jack Wilson watched the approaching ships with a mixture of anticipation and pride. Humanity had prepared for this moment ever since they had found that crashed alien ship in Antarctica 50 years ago. The Empire thought they were dealing with primitive humans who would bow before their superior technology. They were about to learn a very important lesson about underestimating Earth. Commander Anderson smiled grimly as he watched the Imperial ships approach. "Let them come," he muttered. "Let them think we're easy prey. The Empire's about to discover that Earth isn't like other worlds they've conquered." The stage was set. Humanity's greatest test was about to begin, and they were far more ready than their would-be conquerors could possibly imagine. The Imperial diplomatic vessel emerged from light speed just beyond Earth's moon, its silver hull reflecting sunlight in a display meant to awe primitive civilizations. Ambassador Thomas stood on the bridge, adjusting his Imperial uniform. As a human from a conquered world, he had been chosen specifically for this mission. "Begin the standard approach," ordered Captain Reed from the command ship. "Let's show these primitives the might of the Empire." On Earth, military commanders watched through their advanced sensors as the diplomatic vessel made its way toward the planet. In the United Defense Council chamber, representatives maintained their calm as they followed the predetermined protocol. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies," reported Communications Officer Lisa Baker at Mission Control. "Standard radio waves, just as we expected. They think we're still using primitive communication systems." The Imperial message boomed across Earth's communication channels. "People of Earth, this is Ambassador Thomas of the Galactic Empire. We come with an offer of peace and advancement. Your world has been chosen to join our glorious empire." In homes and public places across the planet, people watched their screens as the Imperial message interrupted all broadcasts. The public's reaction was exactly as planned. A mixture of fear and awe. Exactly what the Empire expected to see. But in secure bunkers and command centers, Earth's leaders smiled. "Shall we show them our real communication capabilities?" asked General Martinez, looking at the assembled council members. President Thompson nodded. "Let's give them their first surprise." Suddenly, the Imperial diplomatic vessel's advanced computers crackled with quantum-encrypted signals. Their supposedly unhackable systems displayed a simple message in perfect Imperial script: "Request denied. Earth is not interested in submission." Ambassador Thomas stared at the message in disbelief. "Impossible," he muttered. "Their technology level. This can't be right." "Ambassador," Captain Reed's voice came through, tension evident in his tone. "We're detecting energy signatures throughout their solar system. Advanced signatures. They've hidden their true capabilities." The ambassador straightened his uniform again, this time out of nervousness rather than pride. "Patch me through to their leaders." Direct communication. Within moments, he found himself facing a holographic projection of the United Defense Council. The technology being used for the transmission was centuries ahead of what their scouts had reported. "This is unprecedented," Thomas began, trying to maintain his composure. "You've deceived the Empire about your technological level. Still, resistance is futile. The Empire commands millions of worlds." "The Empire," interrupted President Thompson, "has no authority here. Earth is not some primitive world for you to conquer. We've been watching you for decades, analyzing your technology, preparing our defenses." Ambassador Thomas felt sweat on his forehead. This was not how first contact scenarios usually went. "Perhaps we can negotiate." "There will be no negotiations," General Martinez cut in. "Earth declares itself a sovereign system, closed to Imperial interference. This is not an opening position. This is our only position." On the Imperial command ship, Captain Reed watched the exchange with growing concern. Their scans were now showing massive energy readings from Earth's orbital defense systems, systems that hadn't been visible minutes ago. "Ambassador," he communicated privately to Thomas, "we're detecting weapon signatures unlike anything in our database. We need to withdraw and reassess." But Thomas wasn't ready to give up. "You don't understand the consequences of defiance," he warned the Council. "The Empire will not tolerate." "We understand perfectly," President Thompson replied calmly. "We've studied your conquest patterns. We know your strategies. And we know your weaknesses. You have 1 hour to leave our solar system." "Or what?" Thomas demanded, his diplomatic facade cracking. In response, a small asteroid near Mars suddenly disappeared in a flash of light, converted instantly into energy by Earth's antimatter weapons. The demonstration made the Imperial ship's shields flicker from the energy wave. "That was 1% power," General Martinez stated flatly. "You have 59 minutes remaining. We suggest you use them wisely." As the transmission cut off, Ambassador Thomas turned to Captain Reed's hologram, his face pale. "Send word to the Empire. We found something different." The Imperial ships began their withdrawal, their sensors recording everything they could about this unexpected development. Earth had just changed the game, and the Empire knew it. Behind them, Earth's defenses remained on high alert. Everyone knew this was just the beginning. The Imperial fleet emerged from lightspeed at the edge of the Mars orbit, this time with 15 massive warships. Their hulls bristled with weapon ports, a sight that had brought countless civilizations to their knees. Admiral Cole, the Empire's most decorated fleet commander, stood on his flagship's bridge with cold determination in his eyes. "Let's show these upstarts what real power looks like," he commanded. "Target their moon's smaller satellite." In the United Defense Council chamber, the assembled leaders watched the Imperial fleet's arrival with calculated interest. Their quantum sensors provided real-time data on every ship's capabilities. "They're powering up their main weapons," reported Defense Officer Mark Reynolds. "Target appears to be Deimos." "Let them," ordered General Martinez. "We need to assess their weapons technology firsthand." The Imperial fleet's energy weapons lit up the space around Mars. Massive beams of concentrated plasma struck Deimos, and the small moon shattered into countless pieces. Admiral Cole allowed himself a small smile of satisfaction. "Broadcast on all frequencies," he ordered. "Let them see what awaits resistance." But the response from Earth wasn't fear. Instead, a single message flashed across every screen in the Imperial fleet. "Impressive. Our turn." Before Admiral Cole could react, Earth's planetary defense grid revealed itself. Thousands of satellites simultaneously dropped their cloaking fields. The energy readings made the Imperial sensors scream in alarm. "Impossible," whispered the Admiral's science officer. "These readings, they're beyond anything in our database." In Geneva, President Thompson gave a simple nod. "Show them what humanity can do." A single defense satellite targeted a large asteroid in the belt between Mars and Jupiter. A beam of pure white light emerged, and the massive rock simply ceased to exist. No explosion, no debris, just complete matter-to-energy conversion. The Imperial fleet's shields automatically activated at maximum power. Their sensors showed the energy release from that single shot exceeded the combined output of their entire fleet. "Admiral," his tactical officer reported, voice shaking, "we're detecting similar weapons platforms throughout the system. We're surrounded." Admiral Cole gripped his command chair. This was supposed to be a simple show of force against a primitive world. Instead, they'd walked into the most advanced defensive network he'd ever encountered. Another demonstration, perhaps. Came the transmission from Earth. This time, it was General Martinez speaking. "Or shall we target something closer to your fleet?" The Admiral watched as dozens of defense platforms adjusted their aim toward his ships. His tactical computers ran the numbers. Even with their shields at maximum power, they wouldn't survive a single hit from weapons of that magnitude. "How?" he demanded. "How did you achieve this level of technology without our knowledge?" The response came in the form of a holographic projection showing Earth's quantum shield technology. The display caused several Imperial scientists to gasp. The Empire's best weapons would be useless against such defenses. "You're not the first advanced civilization we've encountered," President Thompson's voice explained. "Just the first living one. We've had decades to study and improve upon technologies you haven't even discovered yet." To prove the point, Earth activated its planetary shield. The blue planet suddenly shimmered with an iridescent barrier that made the Empire's best sensors unable to penetrate it. Admiral Cole knew he had only one choice: All ships prepare for immediate withdrawal. Send emergency signals to Imperial Command. This sector needs to be reassessed. As the Imperial fleet began to retreat, they detected new energy signatures. From behind Mars emerged Earth's own space fleet, ships of designs unlike anything the Empire had encountered. They made no aggressive moves. Their presence alone was message enough. Remember this, General Martinez transmitted one final time. Earth is not for conquest. Spread the word through your empire. We will defend our freedom with force if necessary. The Imperial ships vanished into light speed, leaving behind a changed solar system. Humanity had revealed itself not as prey, but as a power that even the mighty Empire had to respect. In the council chamber, President Thompson looked at the assembled leaders. "They'll be back," he said simply, "with everything they have." "Good," replied General Martinez. "Then they can learn just how much we've been holding back." The solar system returned to apparent calm, but everyone knew the real battle was yet to come. 30 years before the Empire's arrival, humanity's path had changed forever. Dr. Robert Wells stood in a reinforced chamber beneath the ice of Europa, staring at something that would reshape human history. "Play the recording again," he ordered, watching the holographic display showing the discovery. A massive alien ship, far more advanced than anything humanity had imagined, lay crashed and preserved in Europa's icy depths. In the present day, as the Imperial fleet retreated, Dr. Wells, now director of Earth's Advanced Technology Division, reviewed those same recordings in the council chamber. "We got lucky," he explained to the assembled leaders. "The ship belonged to a civilization far more advanced than the Empire. We found their entire technological database intact." The holographic display showed the recovery operation from 3 decades ago. Teams of scientists working in Europa's underground ocean, carefully extracting and preserving technology that seemed like magic at the time. The ship's crew had been dead for thousands of years, Dr. Wells continued, but their quantum computers still worked. Everything was there: weapons, shields, propulsion systems, technology that the Empire won't develop for centuries. President Thompson stood up, walking through the holographic images. "Show them what we learned about the Empire from the ship's historical records." New images appeared. The Empire's earliest days, their rise to power, their technological limitations. The ancient ship had contained detailed analyses of thousands of civilizations, including the Empire's ancestors. "They're not as advanced as they want everyone to believe," Dr. Wells explained. "Their energy weapons are basic compared to what we recovered. Their faster-than-light drives are primitive. Even their shield technology is generations behind what we now possess." In orbit, Earth's hidden fleet emerged from its quantum camouflage. Ships built using principles that the Empire's scientists couldn't even comprehend. Their hulls contained alloys that could repair themselves, engines that bent space itself, and weapons that could unmake matter at the quantum level. "We spent 30 years preparing," General Martinez added, "building our defenses, hiding our capabilities, waiting for the day they would find us. The Empire thinks they're the height of technological achievement. They're not even close." The council chamber's displays showed the network of quantum satellites now visible throughout the solar system. Each one contained computing power greater than the Empire's entire fleet. "But our greatest advantage isn't the weapons," Dr. Wells continued. "It's this." He activated another hologram, showing Earth's quantum shield technology. "The Empire's weapons can't touch us. Their energy beams are absorbed and redirected. Their missiles can't penetrate our defensive fields. We're literally untouchable to their current technology." In a secure facility on Mars, engineers activated another piece of recovered technology: a gravity manipulation device capable of moving entire planets. The Empire hadn't even theorized such technology was possible. "We found something else in that ship," President Thompson said quietly. "Warnings about threats far worse than the Empire. That's why we kept ourselves hidden, why we prepared so thoroughly." The Empire isn't the endgame. They're just the beginning. Dr. Wells nodded solemnly. The ship's record spoke of ancient wars that made the Empire look like children playing with toys. If those threats still exist, humanity needed to be ready. Across the solar system, humanity's true technological level became visible. Bases hidden in dimensional pockets, shipyards inside Mercury's core, defense platforms disguised as asteroids. 30 years of preparation, all built from the knowledge of a long-dead civilization far more advanced than the Empire could imagine. We're not just fighting for our independence, General Martinez stated. We're fighting to survive what comes next. The Empire needs to be shown their place in the galaxy's hierarchy. The council chamber fell silent as they contemplated their next moves. They had revealed some of their capabilities, but not all. The Empire would return, probably with everything they had. But humanity held cards they hadn't shown yet, technologies that would reshape the galaxy. Let them come, Dr. Wells said finally. Every attack they make will teach us more about their limitations, and when the real threats arrive, humanity will be ready. The hidden edge they'd found on Europa wasn't just about superior technology. It was about preparation for a future that the Empire couldn't even imagine. Humanity wasn't just ready for this fight. They were ready for the ones to come. The Imperial Armada dropped out of light speed en masse, filling the space between Mars and Jupiter with over 1,000 warships. Leading them was the Empire's newest dreadnought, the Imperial Might, stretching 20 kilometers from bow to stern. Supreme Commander James watched Earth through his command deck's viewport. Begin the attack pattern. Showed no mercy. On Earth, defense control lit up with warning signals. Officer Baker's fingers flew across her quantum interface. Multiple ships detected. They'd brought their entire Third Fleet. General Martinez stood calmly in the command center. Activate Protocol Omega. Let's show them what real power looks like. The Imperial fleet launched their first wave. 10,000 plasma torpedoes streaked toward Earth. The Empire's most powerful weapons, each capable of devastating a continent. Impact in 30 seconds, Baker announced. Watch carefully, President Thompson transmitted to the Imperial fleet. You might learn something. As the torpedoes approached Earth's atmosphere, the planetary quantum shield flickered to life. Instead of exploding, the torpedoes simply vanished, their energy absorbed and redirected into Earth's power grid. Supreme Commander James stared in disbelief. Impossible. Launch the second wave. All ships, open fire. The space between Earth and the Imperial fleet lit up with energy weapons. But Earth's defenses didn't just block the attack. They consumed it. Each shot made the planetary shield glow brighter. Thank you for the power donation, General Martinez transmitted. Now let us return the favor. Earth's defense grid activated. Thousands of satellites simultaneously fired quantum beams. Not at the Imperial ships, but at the space around them. Reality itself twisted and warped. What's happening? Supreme Commander James demanded as his ship's sensors went crazy. Space itself is being rewritten, his science officer replied, terror in his voice. They're changing the fundamental laws of physics in our sector. A third of the Imperial fleet found themselves suddenly without power, their engines unable to function in the altered spacetime. Another third discovered their weapons had become useless, firing harmlessly into void pockets. Launch the counterattack, President Thompson ordered. From behind the moon, Earth's advanced fleet emerged. Ships that seemed to bend light around them, moving in ways that defied Imperial understanding. They didn't fire conventional weapons. Instead, they released swarms of quantum drones. The drones passed straight through Imperial shields as if they weren't there. Where they touched the hulls of Imperial ships, matter simply ceased to exist, leaving perfect spherical holes. Shields are useless, screamed the Imperial tactical officer. They're using weapons that ignore our defenses completely. Supreme Commander James watched in horror as his mighty fleet was systematically dismantled. Earth's forces weren't just winning. They were doing it with an ease that demonstrated how vast the technological gap truly was. "Pull back," he ordered. "All ships retreat." But retreat wasn't easy when space itself fought against you. The altered regions of space-time trapped Imperial ships like flies in amber. Those that could still move found their fastest escape routes blocked by Earth's quantum barriers. From Earth's command center, General Martinez watched the Imperial fleet's destruction with grim satisfaction. Target their flagship. Show them what a real superweapon looks like. A single satellite above Earth rotated toward the Imperial might. Its quantum beam lanced out, and where it touched the massive dreadnought, matter converted instantly to energy. The pride of the Imperial fleet didn't explode. It simply ceased to exist. Supreme Commander James barely escaped in a shuttle, watching his mighty armada reduced to scattered survivors. The Empire's greatest fleet, defeated in minutes by weapons they couldn't even understand. "Remember this day," President Thompson's transmission reached the retreating Imperial forces. "Remember what happened when you tried to force Earth to kneel. Next time, we won't be so gentle." As the surviving Imperial ships fled in panic, Earth's forces began cleanup operations. The altered space-time regions were restored, debris was collected, and the quantum defense grid returned to its vigilant watch. In the command center, General Martinez turned to President Thompson. "They'll report this to their emperor. The whole galaxy will know soon." "Good," Thompson replied. "Let them know. Let them all know that Earth is not to be trifled with." The battle was over, but its impact would echo across the galaxy. Humanity had just announced its presence in the most dramatic way possible. News of Earth's victory spread through the Empire's territories like wildfire. On the Imperial capital world, Emperor Marcus paced in his throne room, watching holographic replays of his mighty fleet's destruction. "Impossible," he muttered. 3 centuries of Imperial dominance, undone by a single world. But the evidence was undeniable. Quantum recordings from surviving ships showed Earth's devastating display of power. More worrying were the reports flooding in from across Imperial space. In the Centauri colonies, the first uprising began. Former Imperial Commander Peter stood before a crowd of thousands, his voice booming across the plaza. "Earth has shown us the truth. The Empire isn't invincible." On Earth, the United Defense Council monitored these developments through their Quantum Observation Network. President Thompson watched multiple holographic feeds showing protests and rebellions spreading across Imperial worlds. "It's happening faster than we predicted," General Martinez noted. "The Empire's subject worlds are rising up." "Because we did more than defeat their fleet," Dr. Wells explained, entering the chamber with new data. "We shattered their myth of invincibility. Every world they've conquered now knows the truth." The quantum sensors detected massive fleet movements throughout Imperial space. The Empire was trying desperately to maintain control, spreading their forces thin to suppress multiple rebellions. In the Orient sector, an entire Imperial battle group surrendered to local resistance forces. Their commander had seen the recordings from Earth and knew the Empire's time was ending. Emperor Marcus received increasingly desperate reports. "My lord, we've lost contact with the Vega colonies. The Sirius sector is declaring independence. Our forces in the Pleiades have joined the rebels." On a dozen worlds, ancient defense systems, long hidden from Imperial detection, began powering up. Earth's broadcast had given others the courage to reveal their true strength. "Send this message to all Imperial territories," President Thompson commanded. Earth's quantum communication network activated, bypassing Imperial controls. The message reached every world simultaneously. "To all peoples living under Imperial rule, you've seen what one free world can do. The Empire's power was always an illusion. Their technology is primitive. Their control relies on fear. That fear is gone now. Earth stands ready to support any world that chooses freedom." The impact was immediate. Imperial governors found their palaces surrounded by crowds demanding liberation. Colonial defense forces turned their weapons on Imperial installations. In his throne room, Emperor Marcus received the final blow. Recordings of his own advisory council discussing surrender terms. The Empire cannot fight 1,000 rebellions at once, his chief advisor argued, especially not with Earth supporting them. The United Defense Council watched as the Empire began to fracture. Decades of repression and fear transformed into revolution within days. The quantum sensors showed Imperial ships either joining the rebels or fleeing to loyal territories. They're pulling all forces back from Earth's sector, Officer Baker reported, setting up defensive positions around their core worlds. Dr. Wells studied the data streams. Their entire power structure was built on the assumption of technological superiority. We didn't just defeat their fleet, we proved their fundamental premise false. Through the quantum network, Earth began sharing basic defense technologies with liberated worlds. Nothing too advanced, but enough to ensure the Empire couldn't easily reconquer them. President Thompson addressed the Council. This was always the real victory we sought. Not just defending Earth, but breaking the Empire's grip on the galaxy. The holographic displays showed the Empire's territory shrinking by the hour. Centuries of dominance were unraveling in days. Former slave worlds declared their independence. Trade routes reopened without Imperial control. They'll try to hold on to their core worlds, General Martinez predicted. Build a defensive perimeter, try to maintain some power. Let them, President Thompson replied. A smaller empire, contained and watched, is better than trying to occupy their worlds ourselves. Let each species choose its own path forward. The Council Chamber's displays showed celebrations erupting across former Imperial territories. Earth had done more than defend itself. It had sparked a revolution that would reshape the galaxy. The Empire's crisis was complete. Their age of dominance was over. And in their place, something new was beginning to emerge. A galaxy of free worlds, united not by force, but by choice. 1 year after Earth's stunning victory, representatives from 100 formerly Imperial worlds gathered in Earth's new orbital diplomatic station. The massive structure, built using recovered quantum technology, hosted the first Galactic Congress of Free Worlds. President Thompson stood at the central podium, looking out at the assembled delegates. Species of all forms filled the chamber, each representing a world that had broken free from Imperial control. "Welcome to the dawn of a new era," he began. Not one of conquest and submission, but of cooperation and mutual growth. The station's quantum displays showed the changed galaxy. The Empire had shrunk to a quarter of its former size, now contained within its original core systems. Around it, free worlds were establishing new trade routes and alliances. Former Imperial Commander Peter, now leading the Centauri Alliance, addressed the gathering. Earth showed us more than just resistance. They showed us how to stand together without losing our independence. In the station's technical wing, Dr. Wells led a group of scientists from various worlds. They shared discoveries and technologies, each contributing to a growing pool of knowledge. The quantum computers processed data from 1,000 research centers, advancing science faster than ever before. "We're not creating a new empire," General Martinez explained to the assembled delegates. "Earth's defense grid remains our own, but we'll help each world build its own protections. Every species must choose its own path." The quantum sensors detected the remnants of the Imperial fleet, still patrolling their reduced borders. But now they faced a network of allied worlds, each protected by shared defense technologies. The balance of power had shifted permanently. "Our greatest strength," President Thompson continued, "isn't our technology or our weapons. It's our unity and diversity. Each world free to develop in its own way, while standing together against any who would impose their will on others." The station's displays showed new trade ships moving between allied worlds. Built with a combination of technologies from different species, they represented the growing cooperation between former enemies. In what was once Imperial space, new discoveries emerged daily. Ancient ruins, hidden technologies, and forgotten knowledge came to light as worlds freed themselves from Imperial restrictions on research and exploration. Dr. Wells activated the station's quantum communication network, demonstrating how all allied worlds could now instantly share information and warnings. "We face unknown threats," he reminded them. "The ancient ship we found spoke of dangers the Empire never knew existed." The gathered representatives voted on the formation of a mutual defense pact. Not an empire, but an alliance of equals. Earth would share defensive technologies, while other worlds contributed their own unique knowledge and resources. The Empire tried to force uniformity. President Thompson explained, "We choose to celebrate our differences. Each world's unique culture and development adds strength to our alliance." The quantum sensors detected unusual energy signatures from beyond known space, a reminder that the galaxy held more mysteries and potential threats. But now, instead of facing them alone or under Imperial control, worlds could stand together. As the Congress concluded, new agreements were formed. Research partnerships, trade routes, cultural exchanges, all voluntary, all between equals. The station's quantum computers recorded everything, marking the beginning of a new age. "We didn't just end the Empire's rule," General Martinez told the assembled delegates. "We've created something better, not through force or fear, but through cooperation and respect." The final vote was unanimous. The Galactic Alliance of Free Worlds was born, with Earth as a member, not a ruler. Each world would maintain its independence while contributing to mutual defense and prosperity. As the delegates departed in ships of various designs and origins, President Thompson stood with his advisors, watching the Earth rise over the station's horizon. "This is what we really fought for," he said quietly. "Not just Earth's freedom, but a chance to build something new, something better." The station's quantum sensors continued their vigilant watch of space, detecting both opportunities and potential threats. But now Earth wasn't watching alone. 100 worlds stood ready, each contributing to a network of defense and discovery that spanned the galaxy. The Empire's age had ended. The age of freedom and cooperation had begun, and somewhere in the vast darkness of space, unknown challenges waited to test this new alliance of free worlds.